Hello guys, and welcome back to We Are Racing. Now, you probably remember our camper from a couple of weeks ago. This guy. So, there's a couple of more things that we would like to do to this. Now, you'll remember in the previous video I said that we're probably not going to wrap it right now. That stands for the moment. We're probably not going to wrap it this moment. But we might do some other upgrades onto it. Sure, and I'm squinting because the sun is quite strong this afternoon. This is, by the way, what the winters in South Africa look like. Absolutely beautiful. Nice warm days, probably up to 21, 22 degrees Celsius, which is very, very mild. And then we have a few not so great days, but you know what, for the most part it's quite brilliant. Let's look at some of the things that we still want to do. Now, I told you that the camper was in storage for quite a long time. I don't know if you can see this, but there is little rust spots and stuff like this, and in particular that one over there right at the bottom of the window. So we are probably going to just, even if we just body filler that up or something so that it doesn't spread and doesn't get worse. Now, for a car that is effectively 37, 36 years old, not bad at all. Right, when we took it out of storage, the one wiper arm was missing, so bought that, going to replace that today. The one light, the one spotlight here, the lens is actually missing. We bought a replacement unit and that's going in today. This headlight over here, the globe is bust, bought the globe, we're going to install that today. At some future point we would like to do something about this grille here. That is not so great, but I also just want to inspect the fan and everything that's behind that before we go ahead and replace it. Let's get inside the unit very quickly. Just ever so slightly, ever so quickly. Right, so looking inside the unit, the car actually looks pretty great for the age that it carries. The carpets are well maintained inside. The plastics are all good. It's quite a solid dashboard over here. It does have a radio in here, and at some point someone stole the other radio that was in here. Now, the other radio wasn't really a radio per se. This was a unit that just had a screen, and that doubled up as a reverse camera. So what we're going to do for the moment is I'm going to take measurements of this and then 3D print a black cover just to cover up this hole for now, for the time being. Right, we also need to check some fuses because our heat gauge, which lives over there, and I'm stretching, our heat gauge actually doesn't work. We managed to get all the lights on for the cluster over here, which is great, but the heat gauge is a bit dodgy and doesn't work at this particular moment. The interior of the unit, let's turn around like this. The interior of the unit, yeah, it comes out of the 80s. Let's look at that. All brown and nasty colors. So I did start chatting to Desiree today, and it looks like there's hope that we're actually going to update this a little bit. We are thinking of doing the cupboards in a light beige wood finish, to update that a little bit, go with little green curtains, which we think will look a hell of a lot better. And the fridge that was stolen over there we'll also replace, and we're looking maybe doing that as a black unit, and then perhaps updating some of these things over here to also be more sort of satin black, matte black type finish, just to give it a bit of a more modern flavor to it. Aside from that, not a hell of a lot wrong with this guy. So yeah, we're just going to do a few basic cosmetic bits. But yeah, let's get into some working clothes and see if we can fix some of these things that we spoke about. Right, and this is the hole that we would like to cover up with the 3D printed cover, which we're going to measure now and do a little quick design on SketchUp again, and then cover it up. So what we did is we took the wires, nipped them off very nicely, covered them in insulation tape so that they don't short out later, and we're actually just going to leave them at the back there together with the RCAs
that connect to the camera at the back, so that if we find another unit to put into here to make our camera work again, we will certainly go and do that. I have seen a few radio units where the radio itself has a flip out screen, and then you can fit the RCAs to that for a reverse camera. I've also seen some doubled in units, which obviously is not going to fit over here. And then of course this car does have a separate radio unit with CD player. Who uses CDs? Any case, with a CD player sitting on this side. We'll probably update that for something that takes MP3 or at least USB or something better than that, because I'm not there where we're having a bunch of CDs made to be able to listen to our music. An iPod interface will be much better.
So anyone who's ever worked on a car from the 80s will tell you, I just want to check that the mic is on. Yes, I think the mic is on. Will tell you that working on these cars is sort of a great experience, and once you get them up to heat, which happens pretty quickly, everything's going to be okay. The tricky part is cold start. Getting that fine balance of having a car that runs well when it's warm, when it's hot, and getting the car to start when it's cold can be interesting. So let's see how we do. Prime the fuel pump. First time! Okay, that's not great, that's not great. It's running. It's running. First time. Well done. Okay, idling under cold conditions not so great, but it does idle. I'm going to call that a win. There is something that we need to share with you around the idling, so let's just stop this video very quickly, and then I'm going to open the engine cabinet and show you something about the idling. We really battled to get the idling right on this car, and there's a very good reason for that, and I'll discuss it with you in a couple of seconds. Okay, and here we are. So right now, and I hope you can hear me over the noise, right now the car's idling very high, and there's a very good reason for this. This is the idle valve. That's the idle valve that connects to the original ECU of the van. And because we have an aftermarket ECU on this guy, it's trying to set the idling speed using MAP, manifold absolute pressure. And the moment you connect this out, they sort of work against one another. So each one of them is trying to actually control the idling, and neither of them are doing a very good job at it, and then you end up with this idling sitting up at 2,500 RPM with really no way of being able to reduce that. Pull this yoke off, the car idles. It's a bit slow under cold conditions, but the moment it warms up, the idling is absolutely perfect, and it never dies at a robot or anything like that. I would call that a win and a top result. Right, so an interesting bit of information. The window washer bottle for this VW Camper sits at the bottom of the footwell over here, and to access it, what you need to do is pull away this little plastic carpet. There's a clip here, you just pull it over the clip, and when the carpet pulls away, hope you can see this, there's a little cap inside here where you fill up the water for the windscreen wipers. Stick water inside.
Alrighty, so on closer inspection, it more looks like our washer bottle has sprung a leak and will need to be replaced. So it's not that it's big, it's that it's got a big leak in it. Next thing we're going to do, fix the lights. That was super easy. Plastic clip over there, plastic clip over here just above the badge, and another plastic clip at the end over here, and it just hooks off.
As the moon when it came too low, not knowing how to feel.
30mm socket, which in American I believe is 1/2 inch.
My heart, you were an older, wiser soul, opening me apart. I start to write, I start to write.
Houston, we have a problem. This is the unit we bought from Goldwagen, which is intended for these buses, and it looks nothing like the unit that we have in there at the moment. Okay. Looks like we'll have to return that unit, and I'm going to remove the faulty one so that we can take it along as a sample for what we really need. And this was bought from a so-called expert.
Who's can win, no light shine through, and all the things I shouldn't do. Now where you are is where I go home. Your sun shines through all my rooms, lighting up the moon in me, and humming the wolves to sleep. I start to write, I start to write.
Well, it went in a hell of a lot easier than when it came out.
I start to write, I start to write. I start to write, I start to write. Then we collide.
Top job. Let's do the wiper blades. Wiper blades.
wiper arm. Whoever stole the wiper arm was kind enough to leave us the bolt, the nut, to actually screw it back on. So spot on, thanks man, thanks for being a considerate thief. So what we're sitting with is two different methods of attaching the wiper blades. The one uses a little pin that pushes through, and the other one uses the more modern day clip. Obviously when we replaced this left hand side wiper blade, it was the new one which we recently bought from Goldwagen, and I have to mention that it was also the very last one that we could find in the country at the moment, although there is speculation that we'll find some at other part carriers, other different shops, other chains, but this is the last one we could find from Goldwagen. But we have wipers!
Right guys, that's going to be it for today. We still have a few things to do on the camper, including the update of this interior. So you can expect a couple of more videos from us if I can convince my wife that we need to update the interior. We do want to take the camper for one camping trip at least before we sell it, and it still needs to go onto the dyno as well because it is running rich, although it's running pretty well at the moment. We definitely need to get it tuned in just slightly better if we're going to sell it. I certainly don't want to sell something to someone that is not as good as I can possibly get it, so we want it just to be quite good. Please hit subscribe, please like this video, thank you so much for watching, and yeah, keep an eye on us for some more good things coming in the future. And always remember, life is too short to drive boring cars.